Octavia Melody Violet wins A True Love by Swedish Diablo. Like every afternoon, Violet Wins are in the park playing his guitar in for other fellas and coals or other adults. They all love to listen to his music, since he's a very great music teacher in Ponyville. Many ponies really love him so much, but there is one pony that he loved the most. That is Octavia Melody. He started to get to know her after she moved to Ponyville. They had been friends for about at least 3 years, but he started to get some feelings for her for about the last year, and he had only told this to a few number of friends, like Lyra, Sweetie Drops, Twilight, Applejack, and Vinyl. They were the most trusted friends he had. Well, he had also told his best friend Big Mac. But sometimes he just wanted to go up to her and tell her right there in her right then that Octavia, I love you, but he is a very much shy pony for to do this. Every time he walked up to her to tell her, something else comes out. He then start to ask her about all kinds of things, like how's her music practice going, and how is still living with Vinyl, if she's driving her crazy with her type of music, or how long she would staying in Ponyville because she has some orchestra practice in Canterlot, Manhattan, Crystal Empire, all over Equestria. And one time he was close to tell her, but then he was interrupted by Rainbow Dash, who was looking for after her. So sometimes when he's in at Sweet Apple Acres, he often talks to Big Mac. What should I do, Big Mac? I want to tell her, but every time I try something, I talk to her about something else, something random. And it's sometimes I just want to tell, but then I can't bring the right words out. And after sometimes, some pony else interrupts us. What should I do? Should I just at least try to tell her, or should I just ignore it? Find some other mare? Nope, it's the Big Mac. But what should I do? Tell her how you feel. That's what I should do. Big Mac was already dating Miss Shirley. But Big Mac, you told Shirley how you felt for her. Did you tell her right away, or did it take some time for you as well? Nope. It didn't take time? Nope. But if I tell her, should I give her something? Flowers, candy, or something else? Flowers perhaps? Said Big Mac. But who else can I even tell? I mean, who else can I ask for advice? Perhaps me? Ah, said Violet Wins, and then he heard discord about her. Discord! What I told you about that? Sorry, old false habit. Old habit, said Discord. So, is it true you like Octavia by Melody? He said. Discord, please don't tell it that's so loud. I don't want any other opponents will hear about it. You know how fast the rumors will spread if even any other people hearing about this. Oh, sorry. So, so they showed him. Yes, Discord, it is true. I had told Big Mac about it. I even asked him for advice. So, what is your advice then? Discord asked Violet Wins. Well, my advice to you, Violet, is to have to be yourself. You have to be yourself and talk to Octavia about your feelings for her. It is easy for you to say, said Violet. I have no idea how to tell her. Every time I tell something I want to tell, so many pony interrupts, or I can't even bring the right words up. You would have easier. You have been dating Fluttershy for the last 3 months now, and you have been easy for her. Well, it isn't not that easy, I have to say. You know, to be honest, it took courage for myself to tell her how much I liked her, and even ask her out. Are you even serious, Discord? You used to be the Chaos Lord of Chaos, but now this? Are we even sure about you are even scared of that? Are you calling me chicken? She said Discord and started to use his powers to frighten Violet Wins. But this time he wasn't afraid. Nope, I'm not afraid of you. Nope, said Big Mac. Fine, said Discord. My advice to you is that you tell her how you really feel about her. Isn't that right, Big Mac? Yup, said Big Mac. Are you two saying that I should at least tell her how I feel? Yup, that's right, said Discord, and he just disappeared himself. So, should I tell her today or sometime soon? Today, said Big Mac. Alright then, wish me luck then. And then Violet Wins left the farm to find Octavia. But everywhere he looked, he couldn't find Octavia. So, he started to look for her somewhere else. Then he saw Vinyl in the park, just sitting on a bench. He even asked her if she has seen Octavia. And according to Vinyl, that Octavia had left Ponyville for her tour to first Manhattan, later the next day will be Starlingham, Crystal Empire, Canterlot, and then the last Saudi Arabia. When will she be back? And according to Vinyl, that Octavia would be back within a week or so, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Is something wrong? She asked. And Vinyl already know about since that Violet Wins had some strong feelings for Octavia. And he told her that he was going to ask her out, but now won't be back home for the next 2 weeks. So he had to wait for her, which he didn't mind, of course. But then, after 2 weeks, Octavia was once again home. But the first day when she came home, she was so exhausted. She had barely sleep because in the last few days in Saudi Arabia, she had played with her orchestra over and over and almost new songs every time. She barely had any sleep. So Vinyl told Violet Wins that he had to wait to tell and ask her out until the next day because she was so exhausted, which Violet Wins had accepted. So only the next day, Violet Wins went up to their home, knocked on the door, and there she was. Octavia had now fully rested an entire night, and then he asked her right there. Octavia, Yeah, I have something to ask you. Oh? Would you maybe like to go out with me tonight? Sure, I love that. Violet Winds was not prepared for it, because he was not even prepared for so quickly answer. So, around 5? Sure, why not? I haven't any plan today, though. Violet Winds was so excited for this date, but at the same time terrified. He hasn't been on a date for years. The last time he was on a date when he's about 15, and he's now about 25, so he hasn't been on a date for almost, well, for many years. He was looking forward to this date, then the night came. Violet Winds took with Octavia to this local restaurant, and he had to be honest to her that he was still nervous and a little bit terrified because he hasn't been on a date for so long time. And she had to explain that as well. She was still a little bit nervous herself. She hasn't been on so many dates before, just a couple ones over time. But during the dinner, Violet started to get a little bit more easier, and he started to feel more relief that talking to to Octavia made him so much happy. And during this dinner, he'd been asked her about her trip to Manhattan, Nottingham, Crystal Empire, even Saudi Arabia, how this tour was and what she did on this tour, and if she saw something particularly new. And according to Octavia, that the most place she liked the most was actually Saudi Arabia. She had never been to a more exotic place before, like ever. And Violet Winds told her that he had been there at least a couple of times before. So if maybe they went on a travel somewhere sometime later on, maybe they could go there for a visit. He can show her around in some of those royal town or just any of those more exotic places in Saudi Arabia. And Octavia, she said that she was looking forward to it. And after the dinner, Violet followed with Octavia home so that she came home safe. And right outside the door, she kissed him and thanked him for a lovely date. And then she even asked him if he would like to be her boyfriend. And he was more stunned, but he was gladly to be her boyfriend, and he kissed her back. From that day, they both decided to be together, and from almost that moment, they went on more dates, either on picnics, romantic dinners, or the movies, or even to carnivals, for example. But there was one particular date they both much enjoyed, and that was the annual Ponyville Masquerade Festival. They both was very much happy about this date because they both loved Masquerade Festival. Violet went out as a pirate, and Octavia went out as a traveler. And they both really had much a great time at this festival. But during the winter, Violet Winds didn't feel so well, mostly because he has got the regular flu, which he hates so much. So Octavia looked after him for time, but unfortunately she got the flu instead after him. But she didn't mind that he looked after her. But then something else was going to happen with the next year. When Octavia was away in Manhattan to meet some old friends, Vinyl and Violet Wins have been talking about maybe that they will maybe have time for take the next level in their relationship. So they both went to this local jewelry store to because Violet wanted to have Vinyl's opinion about a ring which he's going to have to buy for Octavia. And he bought the most beautiful engagement ring you could ever find. Many people ponies thought that he was going to propose to Vinyl, but he explained it wasn't for her. But still, a few ponies still thought about it, still even thought that he was going to propose to Vinyl. But he still explained to them it wasn't for her, it was for some other pony. And then the ponies started to realize it was for Octavia. But he asked all the ponies that not to tell Octavia when she came back from Manhattan. And the older ponies made the pinky promise not to tell. So, just a few days after this, Violet Winst proposed to Octavia in the park, and she was so much excited and filled much of joy of this. She couldn't stop hugging and kissing Violet because of this. And even Violet was very much happy in himself. But it was the other pony was much happy was actually Vinyl. Vinyl was so happy for Octavia's sake. And she had been asked to be Octavia's bridesmaid for the wedding. But then Violet had a little bit hard to decide who could be his best man, because since Discord and Big Mac was two of his best friends, he couldn't even decide one of them who could be the best man. He tried to, but Discord tried to use his magic to convince that to use him rather than for Big Mac, because Big Mac didn't speak too much. But Violet came up with a great solution. He took both of them instead as a best man. And Discord, he was surprised that he would decide to take both. At first he wanted to be only the best man. But to the end he accepted that Big Man to be the second best man. Because there was unusually and something a little bit chaotic about it. And still, Discord was a little bit chaotic about it itself. But he explained to something else to Violet and Big Mac. He had actually himself had proposed to Fluttershy, and she had accepted with a big yes. And Big Mac, well, he also had proposed to Miss Shirley, and she also had said yes. So they decided to have this big day for as well. And they decided to have a bachelor party just a day before. And wow, they shouldn't have done it, because the day after, Violet Wins was so exhausted because they partied all night, drinking cider, playing poker games, or laughing, telling jokes, and pulling pranks on each other all night. But Violet stood up to be there for his future wife, and even Octavia, which was very much nervous about this dream to be married with her dream love. And the wedding was held in Canterlot, and it was a big party afterward as well. It was actually Celestia who performed the ceremony. Later, Violet Wins had a surprise to Octavia. They were going to celebrate their honeymoon in Saudi Arabia for 4 whole weeks. For an entire month. Because he had a few friends there who could show them around in town or some parts in Saudi Arabia which Octavia had even seen. And when they arrived, she was so amazed to see all these new things in Saudi Arabia, to try new new food, to explore new culture. But then, just 2 years later, Octavia told Violet Wins that they were going to be parents soon. And boy, Violet was so excited to be a father, but this he got much surprised. First, they had actually 2 daughters, and a year later, they had 2 sons, and 2 years later after that, they had 4 more daughters. And wow, they had as a big family. It was a very big, but all their children became interested in magic and music, because some of them became unicorn since both had an unicorn ancestry. But Violet and Octavia was still happy to have such a big family, even though sometimes it could be a bit chaotic, but they still loved their big family. And that's how Violet Wins and Octavia Melody from the True Love got a big family. The end.